Welcome back. This is the English Crew. If you remember our early days, we used to drop podcast episodes on Spotify. And we still love that journey. But now, the English Crew is focused entirely on your career accelerations. So today, we're going to talk about TOEIC. I'm not sure how you pronounce that in your region or in your country. Yeah, but here in Thailand, in Bangkok, we say TOEIC. But I think in some parts of the world, they pronounce it like TOEIC or maybe TOEIC. And today we're going to focus on TOEIC TOEIC Listening Section and how to avoid trick stall for your promotion. So stay with me in the next 60 seconds. I'm breaking down the one trap that costs most test takers essential points. Okay, so I think the timer just was turned on with our visualizer here. So just don't mind that timer. And let's discuss more about TOEIC or TOEIC. Okay, so let's break down the listening part of the test. So if you remember previously when we talked about TOEIC in Thailand and where to take it, I believe we discussed that it's still being held or being done in the BB Tower in Sukhumvit. That's what I remember. And we haven't checked recently, and I also need to brush up on my TOEIC skills. But I think if I'll take it again, I think I can still nail it. Okay, so if you are new with TOEIC, you might think that for the listening section, most of us we get rattled when we listen because it's like entering like a zoo if you experience taking the TOEIC test. So you hear these shuffling of papers, and that's making you nervous, right? And some people get too nervous that they cannot focus on the test. And don't be bothered too much, because if you don't know how the listening portion is being graded, it's like there's this mathematical model that they use, or mathematical framework that they use, called item response theory. So what is that? It's like this mathematical model will show like the whole picture of your skills. So imagine riding a seesaw. So it's designed to equate all the all the scores, and you will get the appropriate score that is given to you. So it's a different way of grading. So they use this complex statistical or mathematical model for it to be fair. Okay, so first think of it that way. So don't get into so much detail that you would like to perfect the listening part of TOEIC. Now, if we break down the listening portion of TOEIC, we will see that it is it has different parts like short dialogues. We have presentations, descriptions, and with this scenarios, you will be tested with short dialogues such as phone calls, like a quick phone call. So you will listen to a quick phone call, probably between an employer or a staff, or maybe a customer with a customer service representative. And sometimes the trick is you just need to pay attention to the tone of voice, the tone of their voice, because that gives you the context clues on how you will answer the specific question for that listening exercise or scenario. Another thing is presentation. So you will also encounter that when you're taking the TOEIC test. So it's like there will be a simulation of someone presenting something, maybe pitching for a sale or presenting to the board in a meeting. And one of the techniques for you to catch those details is you can jot down small details as you listen. So when you hear the presentation type of listening, you just take a quick note. And there's a blank sheet when you're taking the test, so you can use that blank sheet to take notes for a presentation style of listening. Now, there are other things like descriptions. So it can be a detailed product description, and you will also be listening to that in the TOEIC test. And when you have that type of listening test, you can do like a mental picture for you to absorb everything that you're listening to. And it's not that easy. I've been there, so I know the sound of papers and also the acoustic of the room. That's also a big distraction. If the room is not well treated, or there are distractions, you will lose your focus. So don't be carried away too much. And sometimes you realize that you cannot bring your sound machine with you. Of course, you cannot have your special booth where you can isolate yourself and focus 100%. So when when you are taking the test, it's natural for you to be distracted with a lot of things. So just mentally prepare yourself before you go to the TOEIC listening section. Just keep your focus. Try to meditate and tell yourself that you don't need to catch the whole phrase or thing that you're listening to. Don't panic, and TOEIC is just testing your overall comprehension. So, like what I said, it's like a seesaw. It's trying to balance things out. So they will try to grade you with a big picture on how you understand or comprehend the listening part. So another thing is just learn to get the gist of what the other person is saying, like context. Okay, you don't need to focus too much on the word per word that they're saying. Just try to train your ear to listen to context. And that involves the tone of the person's voice. You know, have you experienced that sometimes you you know if a person is sarcasm, sarcasm, right? So you know if a person is sarcastic even if you don't fully understand their language. So it the tone matters so much. So train your ear to master listening to the tone of voice of the speaker. And just don't sweat the small stuff like going word per word and trying to understand everything. That will just waste your time and you might not be able to answer the rest of the questions. And another thing is you can stay engaged by taking micro notes, like what I said previously. You can use the blank sheet and just take this micro notes. Intonation, yeah. Intonation is the tone of voice, and you will learn that by trying to focus on the vocal cues. Like you can say if a person is sarcastic, even if you don't understand the language. And lastly, don't underestimate the power of practice, your exposure to English. So when you're at home, you have like the streaming services in your country. Try to watch Netflix or HBO Max or anything like any streaming service. Try to watch it with a subtitle and then try to rewatch without the subtitle. So that's one of the tip that I learned from mentors, and I would like to share that with you. And remember that you are more prepared than you think you are. So, as long as you practice every day, if you have a chance to talk to a native speaker or maybe someone who has more advanced English than you have, you can just practice with them. So, take advantage of YouTube. You can go to YouTube and go to a listening practice, and you can also expose your ear to people with different accents. So different people from different parts of the world. They have different accents, and that will help you train your ear. All right. So I think we are running out of time. Okay. So I will see you in our next stream and next podcast episode. And before, if you listen to our old episodes, in the previous episodes, we call her Teacher Jonah before, but now, since we are trying to focus on young professionals and executives around the world, we will pivot and call ourselves Coach. So I will have Coach Jonah next time with me, and probably she will have her own episode in the near future. So see you again next time. Bye.